You don't really see a lot of good women because you know what? Good women are somewhere being a good woman. Good women are somewhere being a good woman.
Right.
So I'm saying to you, to my people, to my sisters, you're going to have to stop selling us out to the system. Courthouse money is bogus money. Courthouse money is bogus money. You are making a living by breeding children and taking them to the courthouse for income. That is foul.
That's abuse.
If a woman will wage war, try and destroy her child's father, can she love her child?
Me and her mom got divorced when she was about 1 year old. Her mom thought I was her soulmate. Her mom cannot stand me, period. She pretty much made my daughter hate me. I was in her life until she was about 15.
But this is on Jada M. Goggins' Instagram account. It says, "Mama, I'm chasing a ghost. Hashtag 10 years. Hashtag silent too long. Hashtag daddy issues. Let's just say he likes to use other stories as his own. I have my own story, just waiting to share it." Found on the David Goggins subreddit from a post of a picture of his book. And it reads from Jada. Some of you know, most of you don't. But yes, this is my father, LOL. Yes, he does have a child, one actually, me. He has nothing to do with me and hasn't for 17 years now. He's not a very good guy, let's just say that. Yes, 100%, he has done some amazing things in my life that most people couldn't do.
18 months! She got $743,000. Child support. In child support. And I didn't want to talk about till you missed the story. But guess what? Now, when I gave him $743,000 and I paid for it, I ended up getting him $914,000 because I had to pay for their lawyer's bills. So, what the fuck did I tell you 2 weeks ago? Hey, put that motherfucker in your mouth.
He said, hey, you know what I want to do? I want to give Jay, my daughter, a cool $250,000 more so she has a cool $1 million.
But that doesn't give him the right to kick me to the curb. He is a selfish man, so if you have any questions, let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Hashtag done being silent. With the post following up evidence that they are a family, that they are in fact related.
A man is judged by his power, but a good man is a man that has the ability to do wrong, but chooses to do right, right? And sometimes when women get power, women can't really handle power. So when they get power and they've been raised a certain way, they use it to abuse those that they love because it's a form of control that they really can't get unless they abuse people. Like most women
Litigation abuse, that's what this dude named Landon.
Yeah, so
And as if that wasn't bad enough, the actual post itself was becoming so viral that it actually made it on the David Goggins Reddit page.
The stuff about David Goggins being a deadbeat absentee dad is not surprising. First off, how many hours do you think they're in the day? People who are 24 hours a day working, but when do you think they have time for their kids? They don't. That's one.
She came out, she's done a couple things, one on Facebook a few years ago. She did something on Reddit, and she just did something here about a week ago on TikTok.
Headline, anyone else seen his daughter's post? And a caption that read, "He's inspired me a lot, and I'll always credit him for starting my journey. But seeing this really made me sad, to be honest." And as you'd expect, people began to chime in the comment section down below. Like this commenter who says, "Well, I mean, the guy spends 3 hours a night stretching. Are you surprised his daughter isn't his top priority?" And someone else here who joked about the resemblance between him and his daughter and said, "The genes sure are strong." With other commenters who were shocked and said he has a daughter, and someone responded back to that comment and said, "Try reading his book."
That's one. And two, he did not have a good model of a father growing up. He's taken his pain and simply using it to his advantage. He healed his pain. A lot of athletes who are horribly abused, because of the abuse, they learn how much their body can withstand.
If you look real closely, you'll see the mental gymnastics that this lady just did in order to justify a story that was proven patently false. Of course, she's going to assume the worst of the man because, in fact, he is a man. Of course, she's going to assume that the daughter is not influenced by any outside forces. But these are the same women who would say that if this young lady was dating a much older person, that he would be manipulating her. This is the same mentality that she believes that the lady would have, but she is not going to believe that this young lady was being manipulated into making these statements.
His temperament, cussing unnecessarily. He talks angrily. Can you imagine him being a parent and his daughter spills milk?
You see, a polite savage's life is very messy and things don't work out the way you want it to work out, but it's even harder when somebody will put you on blast on social media and you absolutely prove that it's untrue, but you still have the community of traveling whatevers, making up scenarios, making you abusive, doing anything in their power to make sure that they justify this narrative in their own damn heads. Wow.
Let me back up for a second. As far as the deadbeat dad thing goes, all that shit started. I've never one time attacked my daughter. I've never one time attacked my ex-wife. I've seen this stuff for years. So I do not attack her. I don't go after her. I just sit in the middle of it and suck it the up.
Have you considered what you would be like as a father?
Yeah, I actually have a daughter right now. Yeah.
No way, I didn't know.
Yeah. So I had a kid at a young age when I was in the worst possible place in my life. So when you're in a bad place, you're not going to meet a Kish.
What?
You're going to meet a person that's very similar to who you are at that time. And then you bring a child into this world. And as you start to move up in this world and get better, and you realize, I need to get better, you try to pull that person along with you. A lot of times they don't want to come where you're going. And it creates a bad environment.
Not understanding the sacrifice that a man has to put in to build himself, because everybody wants to wait at the finish line. So let me let you in on a little secret. If you're building immense wealth, if you're making it so you can take care of your family, maybe, just maybe, you're not going to be available to be there every time for everything, for every place. That is what most CEOs, what most executives, what most people must face.
Maybe he hasn't been there like he needs to be, but she may not understand that at some point the mother used her, weaponized her to try to control the father. And at the end of the day, regardless if it's your kid or not, the number one rule in life is self-preservation. So if a woman has more of the mind of the child and is trying to use the child against you, I don't give a fuck if it's my child or not. If the playing field is not level, you're not going to be able to use anything to destroy me once I sniff out the plot. And if my child is not hearing where I'm coming from and they too far gone, then we may have to be separated until they get to a point or an age where they can understand what kind of person their mama is. Because at the end of the day, women who groom children to hate men eventually will start hating their children. It may be 50.
They've been hating their children.
Yeah.
If you ever aborted a baby, you hate your kids. I'm saying, like, I think Kraig had the nicest way of saying this.
That is the nicest.
This is how I'm going to say it. Look, I'm not finna spend my life arguing with you about nothing. Unfortunately, if you have custody of the baby, I might have to catch up with the baby later on in life and hope I can salvage what you turned him into or her into. Because I, myself, I'll make another one. I'm just saying. Nobody will say that, though. Hey, okay, this burn up over here. Let me start another family over here, and maybe if that one act right, I'll let him around my other family that I was able to groom.
Right.
And you seen the situation. I'm a proud deadbeat daddy. All right, even though I have custody of my son and he lives in my domicile, I pay for his college. I got both of my kids into private school. I have the receipts of me being an active father. I've coached all my kids' sports, whether they liked it or not. Right? I was there. I was present. I was voted Father of the Year at both of my children's elementary school. As the father that has contributed the most, I was on the PTA of my children's elementary school, the board for 2 years, on the executive board of the PTA, and I also ran a fundraiser at my kids' elementary school where we raised up into excess of $300,000 over 3 years. All right, I've been active. But still, I've been painted as a deadbeat dad. Anybody can get this work.
Basically, what she does is she calls me an absent father. She's never seen me before, doesn't know who I am type. That's how it makes it look. Which is a lie. She did something in 2018 on Facebook saying I was a deadbeat dad. She did something on Reddit with more deadbeat dads.
The crazy thing is the amount of people who jumped to conclusions didn't even consider that, of course, he must be all the way around extremely absent, extremely negligent, extremely financially negligent. This is the fallacy that these people sell themselves, and a lot of it is just crabs in the bucket. And he actually makes them feel bad because he's doing stuff that they don't have the courage, or they don't have the guts, or the intestinal fortitude to do. So what do they want to do? Tear the man down. Polite savages. Well, polite savages, one of the most incredibly horrible thing to do to a man is label him as a deadbeat. And yes, there are deadbeat fathers out there. There are people who've never sent a penny, won't send a penny, refuse to send any money to their children, refuse to see their children. But what happens, riddle me this, when somebody actually gives over $700,000 to the cause, when somebody actually has pictures and photographic proof that they've actually tried to be inside of somebody's life? What are you supposed to do when that person, when your child, when they're an adult, when they're over the age of 18, 21, 22, 23 years old, tell you exactly that they want nothing to do with you? Well, you always leave the door open, but this notion that you have to sit there and take abuse, keep crawling back, and take a public beating is absolutely asinine.
My daughter lives in Brazil, Indiana. The average income for a family of four is $30,000. I never miss a child support payment. On top of that, I also pay the extra. The extras, dance class, this, that, the other thing. No one knows that. Long story short, never finished. Can't Hurt Me came out December 18. Child support ended for her. She was 19. Ended August 2020. $500,000 in 2018. So the judge went straight off the calculator. It was the most child support given in the history of child support. 18 months. She got $743,000. Child support. In child support. And I didn't want to talk about you missing the story. But guess what? Now, when I gave him $743,000 and I paid for it, I ended up getting him $914,000 because I had to pay for their lawyer's bills. Right. So, what the fuck did I tell you 2 weeks ago? Hey, put that motherfucker to your mouth.
He said, hey, you know what I want to do? I want to give Jade, my daughter, a cool $250,000 more so she has a cool $1 million.
Only thing you gotta do is call somebody a deadbeat, and the community and the simply simptastic simps are gonna go head over heels jumping on the bandwagon to destroy somebody without even seeing any proof. And think about David Goggins' career and his life. It's all endorsements, it's all public image, it's all speaking, but what a way to tear a man down. Thank goodness he had those receipts. And guess what? Not one damn apology came his way, because that's the way the world is. And this is what happened to David Goggins. This is what happened to 50 Cent. This is what happens over and over again.
I see in the headline, bro, when it was originally like you're receiving $6,700 a month. He basically said this ain't shit. You know, it was funny because after I seen that statement by him, right, looked up his Instagram. Bro,
that's why this shit gets me so angry, bro. On this motherfucker's Instagram, bro, is every picture different Cuban.
Yeah.
Different Rolex.
Oh, he's iced out. Balenci hoodie. I seen him with a nice little chain.
I already know y'all about to go ham on this, but let's go. So Marlon Wayans' ex-girlfriend is suing him for child support for their 15-month-old daughter. He currently already is paying $18,000 a month.
Boy, Law, you had zero facts, and you came at me hard, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Talking about all that deadbeat dad, absent dad. Unbelievable, man. You guys had zero facts. Yeah, you out there on TikTok, man. You saw something. You saw something that my daughter put up, and you took that. You were looking. A lot of you are looking for a reason to hate. And they said, how do you feel about being called a deadbeat dad? For those of you who did these videos out here with no facts, and then you had to come with an apology after you heard some of the text messages that my daughter sent.
See, polite savages, sometimes when one parent thinks another parent is coming up, her feelings become so toxic, or his feelings become so toxic for the other parent that they do nothing but poison the well when they're talking to their child about the other non-custodial parent who's not in the house. And it's very easy for them to manipulate these folks. Come on now. What are we talking about here? You're around somebody 24/7. Maybe the other person isn't there as often. Maybe he lives in a different state. Maybe he's on the road. Maybe he had to do something that took extreme hours for him or her to make a living. And so what do you have? You have the opportunity to absolutely plant the little seeds, the seeds of destruction in that child's mind. And as that child grows up, those seeds grow. And as it grows, that hatred grows. All of a sudden, the other parent doesn't even understand what's going on when they go there and they say, hey, I want to see my child. And the child don't want to go with him. Oh, the child's crying. Oh, the child's kicking up dust. And what is this? The other parent says, well, you weren't there enough. Even though the catch-22 was he was there trying to get the money that you required. Don't you understand the way it works? See, ma'am, you can't have it all. If you want everything, then somebody has to go get everything.
Anybody can get this work, and it can happen at any point of your life, which makes this particular situation very, I can relate to this very much, because kids today, you know, they're entitled. They're entitled. So I proudly wear my deadbeat daddy hat. And sometimes that deadbeat daddy label is given to mostly melanated men.
What's your take? My take is David Goggins is not a deadbeat father. You see, we project what our beliefs are on other people. And I'm from the school of, and this is in regards to Goggins, your positioning is you want a relationship with your child, and your child is deciding they do not want a relationship with you. You can only go so far.
You see, the bottom line is most men just have to sit there and take it, grin and bear it, don't say anything, grit their teeth and get through it, just like most things in life. You seen what happened with Gary Owen. He was estranged for his kid for years, but then 3, 4, 5 years later, his son finally came back home, and at least they're having a conversation, at least they're being civil, at least they're having a good relationship. And this is what Mr. Goggins is hoping that happens. That's why he gave that child $1 million. That's why he says, that's still my daughter. That's why he is, in fact, not out here bashing her, because he could have went ham. Could you imagine you actually giving somebody $1 million and they having the absolute gall to tell you that you are being a deadbeat to them? Come on now. Yes, he had every right to do so, but he did something that most men do in this situation. He just shut the hell up, went on about his business, and the only reason why he mentioned it is because y'all brought it up. But don't you for 1 minute, polite savages, don't you for one solitary minute fool yourself and think that that child's mother didn't plant DC, didn't start this parental alienation, didn't make it absolutely easy for this child to hate their father. Because the bottom line is, a real mother, a real woman would never do that. You dig?
Alienation is your father's an asshole. Negative gatekeeping is, hello, here it's your father. I just said your father's an asshole. I didn't have to say it out loud. And what's great is when the child's attorney or the judge speaks to the kid and says, does mommy ever say anything bad about dad? The kids tell him the truth when they say no. What did I just do? What did I just do? I just alienated that kid from dad. And I just said, are you okay? That means dad's dangerous. Why would I not be okay? I was with my dad. Like, this is what the face of alienation is now, is this negative gatekeeping model. It's this very clever, insidious way of, like, I could have been helpful, but I've been so much more. Wow. You found
because people can believe it. All right, people are ready to believe this. The notion that the father didn't care, he didn't handle his responsibility, he didn't pay his child support, right? He didn't care, he didn't take care of his kids, he wasn't present. All right, so this is easily able to believe. So a lot of people will prey on this narrative.
You were happy as weren't you? But then you had to go do an apology. So too. Please do some research, find some receipts, put it out there. I'd like to see it, because there is no proof out there in this. Your positioning is you want a relationship with your child, and your child is deciding they do not want a relationship with you. You can only go so far. The child chooses to side with one of the two parents. That's okay. We can't act as if that's not a reality that happens. There are people who are in the comments, like, kind of mentioning, hey, that's happened to me too. So that doesn't mean that they're a deadbeat. And that's where I stand. I'm not changing my mind. So debate me all you want, but just know what you're going against. it becomes more of your opinion and your projection than a fact.
A relationship with her dad, and she said no. Now you all know, and it's no secret, that David's dad was a piece of shit. He's dead now. But he beat us. He beat David to the point where I couldn't send him to school on certain days. But I made him, after I left, I made him go see his dad. Because that's what mothers are supposed to do. As much as I wanted to hurt his dad, and I really did because he hurt us, I couldn't use my kids to do that. God bless mother.
Thank you for watching the Tip Network. Follow us on all social media outlets and ask yourself one burning question. Can you handle the tip? Boom, we're out.
We found true happiness.